Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FSMOne Educational Webinar Series, How to Grow Your Retirement Saving with EPF i-INVES. Thank you for your time to attend our webinar tonight. My name is Harriet from CIS team. Together with me is our team manager, Mr. Sean Lien. He will be together with us from the start towards the Q&A session. Before we proceed, let us get some attention on the disclaimer. This webinar is especially for investors who are new to EPF i-INVES or investors who are keen to refresh and further diversify their EPF investment. Today contents aim to advise on the newly enhancement and features and detailed steps of various transactions by using the EPF i-INVES portal. Examples provided in this guide are meant for illustration purpose only. Investors are highly advised to read and understand the content of the fund information and disclosure document before investing. We categorize today's agenda into 3 parts. The first one will be the introductions of the EPF i-INVES. We will covering all you need to know, such as the features, the steps of transaction via EPF i-INVES, and how it's redirect to our FSMOne platform. Let's kickstart our webinar today. First of all, what is EPF? The Employee Provident Fund, EPF or KWSP in Malay, is a Malaysian government agency that manages mandatory saving plans and retirement planning for private and non-pensionable public sector employees. The EPF function through monthly contribution from employee and the employers. While in saving, these funds may be used in various investments by the EPF or in some cases by the member themselves. Individuals who are employed, self-employed, or business owner can opt to contribute based on their own requirement. As a member, you are eligible not only to enjoy the annual dividend on your retirement saving, but also many benefits that come with being an EPF member. The key consideration in EPF investment decisions includes the criteria of the safety, stability, liquidity, and risk adjustment return. Then we may be wondering how EPF are able to get good returns for the members. The EPF invests in a diverse portfolio to ensure the member receive the dividend yearly. They invest in a number of approved financial instruments, which include the Malaysian government security, money market instruments, loans and bonds, equity, and even property. We can see that the EPF invests in a balanced portfolio, where its investment consists of a mixture of equity and a fixed income security. While for the chart on the right-hand side is about the EPF dividend rate for Simpanan Conventional for the year of 2002 to 2021. The government guaranteed a minimum paid dividend rate of 2.5%, but historically has a much higher rate, averaging from 5 to 6% annually, as you can see from the payout ratio here. However, the EPF dividend rates have not always been higher than the inflation. In 2008, and as you can see from the red circle, the inflation rate on that year is 5.39%, while the EPF dividend rate is 4.5%. The inflation rate is way more higher than the dividend rate, and this is due to the financial crisis on that year. So as a result, the EPF saving has reduced about 0.98% after adjusting in for the inflation. Eventually, the inflation pushed up the living cost, and there's a potential to diminish the value of the EPF saving. As such, there's a need to seek for high quality investment. There's a way for EMIS, which is the EPF member investment scheme. Members have the option to diversify their retirement saving by invest a portion of account 1 saving into unit trust fund. Members who have sufficient saving can transfer a portion of their account 1 saving for investment via the appointed fund management institution, FMI, such as the fund house, or institutional unit trust advisor, IUTA, such as FSMOne, our online distribution arm of iFast Capital Sdn Bhd. You can choose FSMOne platform to transact during your buy confirmation checkout, which I will walk through with you on the transaction steps in details later. In terms of benefits of the EPF i-INVES, firstly, you will get to enjoy the convenience of the purchase, the unit trust fund online, anytime, anyway. Secondly, the sales charge is 0%. The reduction in the sales charge means the EPF member can easily break even make a profit in a short span of time. Next, the EPF i-INVES mainly invests from account 1. There's no cash required and you no need to extra fork up your money from your pocket. EPF i-INVES portal provide a wide range of the EPF approved funds, and you have the opportunity to decide on how you want to invest your saving based on your risk appetite, and is better control on how your money is invested. Most importantly, EPF has returned dividends averaging from 5% to 6%, and you have the opportunity to optimize your EPF saving to get a potential higher returns. You could certainly earn more than the unit trust funds investment if you are a savvy investor. Okay, here we come to the importance of the basic saving. Basic saving is a predetermined amount set according to the age to enable members to achieve a minimum saving of 240,000 ringgit when they reach the age of 55. The new quantum, as you can see, as we can refer to the table here, is benchmarked against the minimum pension for public sector employee, which has been raised from 950 to 1,000 per month. However, there is a cap where you can only invest up to 30% of the basic saving in account 1. The permitted amount to be invested can be counted by a standard formula whereby the account 1 is minus with the basic saving and then times with the 30%. As you can see from the basic quantum table here, member who age is 30, for example, should have at least 35,000 saving, but this is just a guideline. This is the risk management set by the EPF, but there is also a risk of making a loss. And to add on, fund invest through the EPF Invest portal does not have the minimum 2.5% per annum returns mandate, but at least it has the potential of earning that greater than the EPF average return. To check on how much you can invest, on the left-hand side, you can utilize a calculator available at KWSP website, where you only need to type in your balance and your age, and then you click on the calculate. The amount that can be invested will be shown here. And if you can't bother to do the calculation previously, while on the right-hand side, there's an easier way to do. You just have to log into your account, and then under the buy tab, you'll be able to check your eligible investment amount here, for example, and the validity period here. Okay. For one to start investment using EPF in i-INVES portal, you have to be, first of all, you have to be a Malaysian, permanent resident or non-Malaysian that registered as an EPF member and have to be below 55 years of age. If you are a Malaysian who are aged 55 years old and above, you still can utilize the EPF i-INVES portal to invest conveniently from your account 55 or account emas. Besides, applicant needs to have a sufficient funds, which is at least 1,000 in excess in account 1, whereby the investment application can be done through the agent, distributor, or the EPF i-INVES portal. So how do we access the portal? We have to register ourselves as an EPF i-INVES as a member. How to do that? First, step 1, you visit to the nearest EPF office or kiosk to register the temporary user ID and password. The password, right, you'll be sent via SMS to your registered mobile number. And then step 2, you can log in to the KWXC website to insert the temporary user ID and password. And bear in mind that you are required to complete the activation within 30 calendar days of receiving the SMS. Step 3, so upon successful login, you need to create a user ID, password, choose a security image and secret phrases. And step 4, once you have activated your account, a notification will prompt on your screen. And lastly, you can log in with your new create login ID and password. Okay, the introduction in previous slide is giving an idea to all of you what is EPF i-INVES, who are eligible to apply for an account, and how much to invest, etc. Now, I will brief more about the features of EPF i-INVES, which include the investment frequency, where you can invest, and also our recent recommended fund of the year, which is relatable to the EPF investment. For this slide, okay, as you do your research into the funds that you would like to buy, okay, don't forget to also consider the various ways and channels that you can invest through in unit trust. You probably know that you can invest via a unit trust agent, but there are also actually several other channels such as a bank, EPF i-INVES portal that you can use as well. It is very much depending on your preference. So I will be comparing both methods, either investing through unit trust agent or investing through EPF i-INVES with FSMOne. Many individuals may opt to carry out their unit trust investment via agent because of the convenience and the service that they are offered, especially come with the benefits of the human face-to-face interaction and advice. So typically, a unit trust agent will reach out to you, and then they will help to determine your risk profile and which fund that are suitable for you, and then go on to help you to submit your document to the EPF and the unit trust management company. So this is the general flow for investing through the agent. One key drawback on the investing via agent lies in the hefty commission that they're drawn from every successful transaction secured. This range about 1.5% of sales charge. On the other hand, investing through EPF i-INVES portal is comparably more convenient, where EPF member can practice do-it-yourself investing directly from the EPF i-INVES portal, which means that member will no need to go to any paperwork processing between the EPF and the fund management company. Okay, there is also no submission of any form is required. Member can invest at any time, anywhere online. Also, the EPF i-INVES portal also allowed member to purchase up to 8 unit trust funds from a maximum of 5 fund houses in one single purchase transaction. In terms of sales charge, there is also no upfront fee will be imposed by the fund houses for investment transacted through the EPF i-INVES portal with FSMOne. But don't worry, even if you have invested with unit trust agent previously, you are still eligible to invest in both methods together. Okay, there are two ways of investment frequency, which are the traditional method via submission to the fund house or distributor or investment through the EPF i-INVES portal. For both methods, investment can be made every 3 months from previous disbursement, which is also subject to the eligible investment amount, while investment through EPF i-INVES portal is comparably more handy, where the investment can be very independent. For traditional method, you are only allowed to invest in multiple unit trust funds within the same fund house, which is only appointed by the EPF and only one fund house per application. However, for investment through EPF portal, you can invest up to 5 fund house and maximum of 8 unit trust fund in a single purchase transaction. Traditional method, you need to submit the form where the fund house will submit the application to EPF for processing, while EPF portal has eliminated all the time-consuming paperwork submission, where the member will only need a TAC in their registered mobile number, and for purchase confirmation. So this is the investment frequency between the traditional method via submission to the fund house and through the EPF i-INVES portal. Okay, before deciding to invest, applicants should have a well-defined idea on what's their overall personal investment plan and asset allocation goal. This will help to determine the next step, which is to sort and to filter the fund more easily. You can see the entire list of EPF approved funds on the KWSP website. It will be updated time to time accordingly. Okay, you can filter it by your favorite fund house, like Afin Huang, Principal, Eastspring, and etc. before you're investing. So when you click in the fund house, you'll be able to see a full list of unit trust fund categorized in different tables in PDF file. The first table you can see is the list of active funds. Okay, the active funds means the fund which is open to buy, switch, call, or redeem anytime. At today's session, I won't go into deeply on which unit trust fund to invest, but definitely we will not suggest investor to go for bond or money market funds using the EPF i-INVES portal. The reason is that those asset classes return is around 2 to 3%, which is much more lower compared to EPF return. So in this case, we should look for the fund that can outperform the EPF annual return 5 to 6%, for example, the equity fund. Okay, before we move on, there's a little background information that you should know beforehand. As you can see from the slide, EPF stated that they will release its annual qualifying list of fund house and funds under the INVES, where the funds are evaluated annually based on the EPF established criteria approved by the Minister of Finance. In 2022, EPF has increased the minimum of eligibility score of the simple average consistent return SACR from 2.33 to 3 for existing fund and 4 for the new fund. For your extra information, SSCR is computed based on the EPF aggregate performance over a 3-year evaluation period using a Lipper rating for consistent return. So due to the revised higher requirement, any unit trust funds, either existing or new, that fall below the minimum eligibility score will be suspended from the offering. We will see the explanation of the suspended funds in the next slide. Okay, there is another category table for suspended fund and removed funds under the same PDF file. Suspended funds mean the funds are temporarily closed for subscription. No initial investment is allowed from the EPF account 1, but existing holders are free to switch or redeem anytime. As explained earlier, the EPF may suspend a fund for failing to meet the performance requirement. On the other hand, when EPF remove of funds from the list, it means permanently remove the funds from the list, permanently remove for EPF subscription. So about the same, there's no initial investment is allowed, but existing holders have to switch or redeem within the timeline given. Otherwise, it will be forced for redemption. So this is a difference between suspended funds and removed fund. But FSMOne investors should not be worried much, as our team will notify client through phone calls and emails beforehand, and client will have the time to consider either to switch or redeem or hold depending on the letter of notice from the fund house. Okay, you can utilize our FSMOne platform fund selector. Okay, move over to Fund tab and click on the Fund Selector, More Filter. On the left panel, filter the Unit Trust Fund and select Yes for the EPF approved funds. And swipe to the right for the recommended fund. And click Filter, a summary of the application will be shown. Considering the FSMOne platform has more than 700 funds available, we furnish investors with our list of recommended funds every year to help investors better select consistent performing funds. Our research team methodology of the fund assessment is quantitative, where the funds is assessed based on the historical performance, risk, and expenses. As compatible to our webinar topic today, we can filter using the fund selector. As you can see from the slide, is a total of 16 EPF approved fund, which is also our recommended fund of the year. Okay. Over the 10 years, you can see the performance of the top unit trust fund, top 5 unit trust fund, especially the equity fund, are able to achieve more than 7% of the annualized return. Investors should take a closer look at the fund's information in the document, because this material could provide additional insight and information that could help to explain the performance of the funds. It is advisable for investors to implement a longer investment horizon, 3 years and above, and even more for the EPF investment. There's no right or wrong when it comes to the investment, but most important thing is that investor should always invest within their risk appetite. Here with a little information about 55 years old as a point of reference for the investment eligibility. All Malaysian or non-Malaysian who are registered as an EPF member and permanent resident are eligible to open for investment account. For the age of below 55, you are allowed to invest 30% of the excess of basic saving in account 1. The minimum investment amount remains 1,000. Application can be made through an agent or counter and EPF i-INVES portal. With that all, any redeem transaction that you carry out, fund house will return all the revenue or the investment sales back to the EPF. This is the overall for the age of below 55. Next is about the age of 55 and above. Once you reach the age of 55, the contribution made to your account 1 and account 2, you will be consolidated into account 55. For members that continue to work beyond the age of the 55, which is 56 and 57, and so on, contribution received will be parked under a new account called account a must. Once they reach the age of 60, contribution in account 55 and account a must will be combined together. Okay, so for those members over the age of 55, they still can make their investment through EPF i-INVES portal conveniently, and any amount in both account 55 or account a must should retain 1,000 at least. All the buy transaction made through both accounts, FSMOne will process those investment into a cash scheme account. This can be explained where the EPF will release control over the investment in fund houses when the member reach the age of 55. Their investment dealing are between member, beneficiary, and with the fund house. So any redeem transaction that carry out will not return to the EPF, where the member can withdraw their contribution from account 55 or account a must with standard procedure. So this is a little information about 55 years old. Here we come to the steps of buy or redeem or switch via the EPF i-INVES. In an effort to help members to make more informed decisions in investing, EPF has rolled out new features and tools in their EPF i-INVES portal, includes the account holding, transactional history, and other useful information on the EPF approved funds. And what more good news is all these features are now available on the mobile application, which is previously only desktop version is available. EPF is looking to roll out more new features in the coming months. I will share in detail the transactional steps in desktop version and also the mobile application later on. Let us kickstart the buy transaction via EPF i-INVES in desktop version. Firstly, visit the KWSP website and then mouse over to login and choose i-INVES member. Then proceed to log in by keying your user ID and password. Click on the i-INVES tab on the top right-hand corner. And then mouse over to transaction, click on the buy tab. Okay, when you reach this place, you'll be able to see the EPF i-INVES portal can now purchase up to 8 funds from a maximum of 5 fund houses in a single purchase transaction. This is the example that we can show to you, where I can place FSMOne fund and principal funds together in one single purchase transaction. Previously, the member could only purchase one fund house unit trust funds in single transaction. So this is the enhanced feature, which allowed the member to better access the efficiency. You may select the fund house and select the fund name to invest. You can also click on the icon in the square box if you require more information on the respective funds. Beside, as you can see on the left-hand side, is the details of the eligible investment amount. Your eligible investment amount are applicable for 3 months only. It's count from the beginning of any attempt transaction after the end of the last validity period. For example, if you attempt a transaction on 1st August, the validity period will be from 1st August to 31st October, exactly 3 months. You may make as many transactions as you wish within the validity period, subject to the available investment amount. So after the 31st August, if you attempt another transaction on 1st November, the validity period will be refreshed again. So here's the selected fund under the buy card. You may key in the investment amount. As you can see from the slide, I placed 2 funds from different fund house in the buy card. So even though the minimum initial investment amount for principal is 500, I can't proceed further because the minimum investment amount per fund house is 1,000. We can see the example on the next slide for better understanding. Okay, if you wish to invest for only 500 for each fund, you will have to place 1 more funds under the same fund house, whereby the total investment of this fund house must meet the minimum investment of 1,000 at least. So at the bottom of the page, you may click to view fund info for better understanding of the fund that you wish to buy. This is the fund info page, where it will redirect you to the fund selector in the EPF i-INVES portal. You can click around to study the annualized, cumulative, and calendar year performance. Click buy button if you wish to proceed. Okay, as you can see that I placed 2 different funds together under one single transaction, you will have noticed some of the fund house and IUTF does not carry both funds together. So you may click buy under the FSMOne that offering both selected unit trust fund. A pop-up will be appear. Read and tick agree to term and condition, and then click OK. You will be redirected to the FSMOne platform to complete the transaction. If you already have the existing EPF holding with FSMOne platform, type in your user ID and password to proceed. So once you are logged into our platform, you are then automatically redirected to the transaction confirmation. After checking all the transactions correctly, click confirm and check out. Lastly, we'll come to the payment page. All you have to do is perform the TSC verification. Then the TSC will send to your registered mobile number. Okay, click to agree terms and conditions, and then key in the 6-digit TSC number and then click proceed. A summary of your investment application will be shown. Here come to the switching transaction. Mouse over to transaction tab on the top left corner and then click on the redeem and switch tab. Come to this page. You can see that currently there are 2 funds in the account holding. For example, select the fund that you would like to switch and then click proceed to switch button. Bear in mind that the EPF member can only switch funds offered by the same fund house or IUTA in a single transaction. Click to agree the term and condition and click OK. Key in your user ID and password. About the same as buy transaction, once you are logged into the platform, you are then redirected to the transaction confirmation. You see your switch sell fund that you selected previously, and then click proceed to add more switch buy fund. Here's the page that you select your switch buy fund. Then you are required to fill up the unit that you would like to switch depending on the available unit. You can choose to add more switch buy funds provided that your available unit is sufficient. For example, I choose to switch my fund from principal funds to another 2 switch buy fund. I have to make sure that the total available unit is sufficient for both, and also the minimum investment amount for each fund is to be made. Hence, in this case, due to the insufficient total available unit for both switch buy fund and minimum investment unit cannot be met, I can only choose one switch buy fund to proceed. For switching, the transaction does not require member authorization as per buying transaction. So once you have selected your switch unit, the indicative switch amount will be shown. You may then key in your FSMOne login password for verification. There is another alternative way. If you have bought the fund previously through the EPF portal with FSMOne, you can choose to switch your fund directly through FSMOne platform without login into the EPF i-INVES portal. Under the EPF investment, click on the switch button and then indicate the unit and to switch and add to cart. Click send TAC and TAC will send to your mobile number. You just have to key in your TAC and the switch sell order will be successfully placed. So this is all about the switching transaction. For redeem transaction, mouse over to transaction and then click on the redeem and switch button. Select the unit trust fund they would like to redeem and then proceed. Click proceed to redeem button. Click to agree the term and condition and OK. As usual, key in your user ID and password and make sure everything is tally as per EPF i-INVES portal, then click proceed. Under the redemption page, key in the redemption unit, or you can choose to redeem all and then click confirm and check out. Lastly, key in the FSMOne login password for verification. So same as a switching transaction, redemption can be carried out in FSMOne platform, provided you have bought the fund through the EPF portal with FSMOne. So under the EPF investment, select sell, and there's a pop-up that all you need to do just to indicate the unit to sell and add to cart. Key in the TSC number accordingly, and then your redemption order is successfully placed. We have walked through the transaction step via desktop version, so mobile application is rather easy to control. I will share few video on the mobile version of the buy, switch, and redeem transaction. So this is the buy transaction. You click over the transaction, select buy, and then select the fund house and select your fund. Key in your minimum initial amount that you want to invest. Select FSMOne as your portal. Sorry, a moment. This is the disclaimer. Click OK. And then you may then proceed to log in to your FSMOne user ID and password to proceed the transaction. So for the switch transaction is also the same. Move to the transaction. Select switch and then select the fund that we would like to switch. And then come out the disclaimer. Click OK and proceed to log into your FSMOne platform. For redeem transaction, also the same. For under the transaction, select the fund they would like to redeem. Proceed to redeem. This is a disclaimer. Click OK. And you can log in to the FSMOne platform. For extra information on the fund information, you can also browse to the EPF i-INVES mobile application. Move over to watch list. And then select your fund that you would like to study more. Okay. For example, I choose Eastspring Investment Dynasty Fund. I can see all the funds document here. Then you can click in if you want to read the spec sheets, semi-annual report, supplementary prospectus, and the product highlight sheets. Lastly, we came to the recap summary on what to take note. If you would like to highlight that there is no upfront fee will be imposed by fund houses or IUTA like us for investment transacted through EPF i-INVES portal. While there are still some of the funds required to go through the normal form submission to FSMOne. For EPF investment through portal, buy transaction is cut off at 4 p.m. on any business day. So after 4 p.m., transaction will be processed on the next business day. Or for the redeem and switching, remain at 3 p.m. on any business day. For redeem and switching, either from EPF i-INVES portal or FSMOne, no form submission is required. Form is only required for normal form subscription for some of the fund house. Okay, next, transaction can be placed from the mobile application now. So if you have FSMOne basic account through EPF i-INVES with us, you can convert from basic account to full account to enjoy a full range of investment product available on our platform. So I hope the information today able to give you some idea on how to grow your retirement saving with EPF i-INVES and how to utilize the EPF i-INVES portal. Okay, we are more than happy to assist in your investment journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Sean, our Client Investment Specialist Manager, for the Q&A session.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sean over here. Okay, I would like to answer the Q&A section. If you have any question, actually you can post your question in using the Q&A toolbar. So let me answer the first question. Okay, the first question over here is, can we do a monthly deduction from EPF into FSMOne funds? Okay, basically like what Harry shared just now, we are able to perform multiple transactions through the EPF i-INVES right now. So actually you are able to select whether you want to do it monthly or do it bi-weekly or weekly. But it's just that you need to personally log into the KWSBI account and perform the transaction accordingly. Instead of you set something like the regular saving plan, and we are not able, the i-INVES is not able to help you to invest automatically on monthly basis. So which means you will need to invest by manually log into the KWSB i-INVES platform and select the fund that you want to buy and then perform the transaction on a monthly basis. As long as the eligible amount, your eligible investment amount is sufficient. Okay. So I will proceed for a second question. So I would like to invest in the fund using cash. meaning to say without withdrawing from my EPF account, is it possible? Actually, yes, you are able to use the cash to invest in our platform. So, and the third question, okay, what is the annual management charges for i-INVES? So the annual management charges for i-INVES, actually, i-INVES won't charge any annual management fee. So all the management fee, actually, it will depend on the unit trust fund that you pick. Meaning to say the unit trust fund that you would like to invest in, then you will just need to pay the annual management charge or annual management fee for that particular fund that you invest in only. So for i-INVES, basically is a platform that convenient for you to place your EPF account one investment online. So the fourth question is, how often is the list of i-INVES fund reviewed by EPF? If the fund is permanently removed, does that mean investor will be forced to redeem at a loss? Okay, for this one, actually, I'm not too sure whether they are reviewed by quarterly or half yearly, but this one maybe allow us to check on this. Okay, and then if the fund is permanently removed, so meaning to say, if currently the fund that you are having right now actually is in losses, you will need to actually basically you are forced to redeem at a loss. So when EPF remove the fund, they will allow maybe 2 weeks time or a month times a buffer period in order for all the investors to redeem the fund. If you do not redeem the fund based on the specific date, then actually the fund house itself, actually EPF will inform fund house to force remove all the fund on behalf of you. So do you all have any question? I think under the Q&A box, we do not have any question anymore. So maybe we open for another 1 minute. If let's say there's no more question, then maybe we can wrap off the webinar today. I think there should be no more question. So thanks, Harriet. And then to give everyone had a thought on how to invest in KWSP i-INVES. And then for this particular i-INVES feature, actually is very beneficial to investor because first of all, the sale charge actually is 0%. You are able to save a lot on the sale charge. And then secondly, you do not need to fill out form and thumbprint anymore. So everything can be done online. So basically it will quite helpful to allow you to fully utilize your EPF account once balance and maximize the returns from your EPF savings. Okay, I think I have one more question here. So, okay, what is the advantage to invest via the i-INVES versus the ordinary method? Okay, the ordinary method, I think you are meaning to say submit through the form submission. I think basically both method, it will be the same. The final objective is it help you to invest into the particular unit trust fund. But the i-INVES method, it will be fully online. Meaning to say you do not need to meet any agent to perform the thumbprint. Furthermore, if you perform through the ordinary method, meaning to say when you thumbprint and submit the form, so there is a possibility the transaction will be rejected because if they are not able or fund house not able to scan your thumbprint clearly. So actually the advantage of invest in i-INVES actually is when you go through online, so the approval is certainty. Meaning to say if you invest before the cutoff time, it's very certain that you are able to buy the particular unit trust fund on the same day annually. Okay, so I think no more questions. So we should
No.
wrap off the webinar for today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Thanks
you
for your
very much, Mr. Sean, for joining us today, and thank you everyone for attending tonight's session. By this, we will end this webinar, and good night.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Night.